Okay, let's take a look at this scene in VR mode or VR spectator mode. I haven't changed these. I like this as is. I was going to change it to the controllers, but this will be fine. It's less distracting, I guess. So, in this mode, I can actually move around quickly. If I were to change it to sub render, it would get very choppy, and I don't really want that. We will take a look at that later, but for now, I'm just going to keep it like this so that we can take a look at the scene. One thing I forgot to do is, oh, just a sec. I'm gonna change distance of the camera 5,000 to 10,000. Cool. That should do it. All right. So when we look outside, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, one less thing. Also, and deselect. There we go. Now we're good. Okay. Okay, so we're in VR scene inspection, looking around at this angle. If I drop it down like to here, that puts me kind of at the, I guess, the viewer as the character's perspective of things. I'm going to turn this way. Okay. Um, Try to match similar height. And I've checked this in terms of like, yeah, these doors are actually this big, which is crazy. As of yet, I mean, I don't, it would be cool if there's a way for me to control like the bone constraints and actually open and close stuff. That's kind of cool. I can grab, so that's convenient. Um, Now what I'm viewing is a bit jittery because I'm using a lower end PC, but it's good enough. But what you're seeing on screen should be pretty fluid. So we're going to come into this area here, which is massive when you're on the uh, player scale, which gives us an idea on how this is all going to work in VR. This is empty for a reason. I think it has a glass texture here, which no, it's just empty. So this allows me to do that cool spirally stairs thing, which I'll get into at another point. Um, Trying to match the scale there. So I envision maybe these characters maybe are a little shorter than what we're viewing now. If I were to create a chair and put him in it, I'd still think he'd be a bit big. So that's probably something I'll have to think about later on. Um, Now, since we're in solid view, we can't see the beautiful glass setup. And even if we were in sub uh, render, it would be just the reflective um, setup that we already have. So that's something I'll have to look into, and it would be choppy. And then if we were go full EV render, then it would be crazy choppy, but then we'd be able to see everything going on out there. So maybe at the end of this, that's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and fly around a little bit. All right, so the carrier from here, we have our terrain, which is why I said it's a 10,000 because the view distance would have been not very good. Um, Another thing I've noticed in the VR spectator mode that you can't see, but I do, is that it's the color depth is very poor. So dark parts look really bad and over or undersaturated. I'm not really sure which, probably undersaturated. And so that's another reason why I'm not viewing this in that particular way. So from this angle, I mean, Sam jumped out of there. I could totally see him jumping out and gliding down. I don't know if it was here or there. I'm pretty sure it was back here. Let's do this. All right. I'm gonna have to fix these because I wasn't aware that they're popping through. So that kind of sucks. And also, this is all going to be restructured. So I'm just doing like a base thing. In fact, let me turn off the floor for this view because it's getting in the way of what I'm trying to do here. Interesting. So I wonder if this is a VR related thing. Ah, there we go. That did it. Alrighty. Knew it. All right. So we got rid of the floor. Now we can actually see what's going on here. Um, so yeah, he jumped down from up there. Ooh, I got lightheaded because I stood up too fast. Ah. All right. I jumped down from there. That seems pretty accurate in terms of height, and I'm still not even touching the ground. So imagine where we at here. Okay, that's angled. So let's see. Meh, something like that. Seems pretty accurate to me in terms of came down. Yeah. Another thing that I can't figure out is that in the movie, let's go over here. There's like platforms, and I haven't the slightest idea how to add those yet. I'm noticing something. Yeah, I think this, I can't recall if this was me or by forgetting to delete this part, which probably was because it's just a single. Yeah, that might have been me. I want to see what this is over here. What is this? Why is that here? I don't know if this was also me by accident, but maybe I can use this to my advantage later on because there are sublevels to a lot of structures in Tron. So I also need to add that thing that goes on the end of here. There's a bunch of like chains of them, and then like on either end, there's like this big thing. So I'll have to look into that. But I need to find a way to make a platform like come out in this area. So um, where they had their big thing, which I think might have actually been over here instead of out here. I don't know. I could be wrong. Yeah, it could have. Who knows? I'm still trying to get all the angles, which is why I need more user interaction in comments and stuff, so we can figure out how to piece this all together properly. I'm going to have a substructure with the lights, keeping the hexagon shape or octagon, whatever. But either way, octagon. What's the sixth? Hexagon? Or is that? Yeah, right. So then I'll have like a catwalk accompanying the light so people can run around up there. And the elevator thingy that leads all the way up there. And I don't want to go too far out of the terrain. It gets a little crazy. Um, but yeah, overall, viewing the ship, you can go out here. The terrain will not be the same. Um, at some point, I'm going to. This is old school Tron terrain. So I just wanted to throw this in because it was easy, but it will be more like Tron Legacy in the future. I'll actually look into how the structures of the train were made. I have an idea on the shapes. I just don't know how to generate that on a procedural level. But when I do, then that'll be the structure of it. But I also want to ensure like there are certain areas where there's a bit of a cliff rock type angle for the Sea of Simulation. And what I would like to set up is somewhat of a map of what the grid should be. I believe there was a map in the movie that Sam looked at before he actually ended up on the grid that I need to take a look at. And if not, then we'll come up with our own little version of what we think that should be and just go from there. So yeah, this is the setup. And like I said, I'll go back up to the, whoa, let's go in there. And we'll take a look at this scene first in uh, Subrender. Okay, where's my mouse? Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Okay, so the glass works. This is too shiny. I don't know why it's even like that, so I'll have to fix that. It's not shiny at all, actually. Everything else looks fine, so most of this room relies on the exterior lighting. And I also know that there's missing lighting. Like, so you have this border going around the room, which I know isn't the correct scale, but I mean, like, really, who cares? It's just a scene that it's put together. But there's another border of lights in this top portion here that wraps around the room as well. So maybe I'll find a way to add that to the geometry. I could probably split that in half. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll split that in half and then pull it up. And then it'll be its own light source up there. And then I also want to apply edge split because those are too smooth and I'm not really feeling that. It's not really how it should look, but almost. The stairs are fine. The terminals, I'll probably do something different. And keep in mind, all this is realistically just for me to set up in cycles. Like there will be two different versions of this. So we're looking at the angle from where I'll be pushing to Unreal, but there will be a cinematic setup on the cycle side that really embraces all the good textures and camera angles, and we'll be focusing on that. I just wanted to showcase that I have to work between both worlds essentially in terms of Blender cinematic renders and VR through the Unreal Engine side. So kind of like working hand in hand. Oh yeah, forgot how good the glass looks in cycles for this. But as you can see, like I said, it's choppy. This glass, I think I'm gonna just change to a regular glass instead of the orange hit tint that I have. Got the terrain in the background. And before I end this, we're gonna go into full EV, and it's gonna get really choppy, just based on my computer. But we're gonna look anyway. So this is what we got. If we want, I guess we'll take a look at shipping the terrain outside of this, just to get an idea. That all looks really good. Yeah, let's pop down there right quick, just for fun. That jump over there. Ooh, look at the reflections though. I like that. This is of scale. Obviously, that's not. um, and I'm gonna work on those tube thingies eventually. I think this might be of scale. I'm not sure. It's probably way too big, possibly, because the way I saw this thing whip around, yeah, I think it's actually way too big. So we're working on that this week. Let's go back up, and hopefully that does it. Eh, almost. Yeah, terrain looks good even in this mode. It's supposed to be the stabilizers that we're just passing through all weird like. All right, we're gonna start back here. And now we're gonna get into the choppiest part. Oh, I didn't know which direction I was facing. Come on. Okay, last part. So here's what we got. I think it looks great in this mode. But from my visual perspective, the shadowy parts are undersaturated. So I'm guessing that means that I'll have to find ways to light the scene more in order to get more detail, which will probably come from this light and that overhead light I was talking about from before. But look at the terrain in the background. Like, is that not cool? Look at that. Let's go up there very slowly, apparently. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm wondering if the volume that I'm using has an effect as well, but nah. And turn around real slow. Oof. I'm just gonna do it. Do that. And hopefully we don't pass too far. Oh, good, good, good. We're good. In here. So it's about the same. And honestly, I'd say that the sub render we were in before looks better for the glass, but that's probably a design flaw on my part. So something I'll have to fix. But yeah, the lighting looks good. I don't know why the oh, because of the glass. Yeah. So that's my scene. I hope you enjoyed moving around in VR spectator mode. And I'll continue from this point on using a mix of spectator mode to give a more personal angle to our scenes, and also talk about them on the viewport side. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.